All right, good evening, everybody. It's your buddy James from Resurva, and tonight we are going to set up a Resurva account for a tattoo shop, and I'll show you how to manage consultations, um, shorter appointments for piercings, maybe some flash art tattoos, and also longer, say multi-series or multi sit-in pieces that may take 20, 30 hours but require 3, 4, 5 appointments to get somebody or get their artwork all set up on their body or inked in. Anyways, so let's get started with setting up our shop. And first thing I'm going to do, as always, is pick my city, and we're going to be in Toronto. I'm going to set my appointments to be on the hour, and our start date for the schedule is going to be Monday. Um, so first thing I'm going to do, I'll set in some of the basic services. So I'll do a tattoo consultation. Um, or we could do a small tattoo consultation. We will make that 30 minutes, and we can do a large tattoo consultation, and we're going to make that 1 hour. We could do ear piercing. We could make that maybe a 30-minute appointment. And then if we wanted, we could do some flash art, things like that. But I think I'll leave that for now. I'll add another, and we'll just call it tattoo. And what I'll do is I'll leave that at 00 so that it can be a variable length service, and this will allow you to control the length of the tattoo session. So you can make it 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. If you don't want to work on the hour, then you could set 30-minute increments, which would allow you to get a little more precise with how you do or how you manage your day. But I think this is good enough to get started. I think what I'll do also, I'll come back to the settings for the tattoo, but we'll make that a service that clients cannot book online on their own, because we're going to drive the bookings through the front desk of the tattoo shop in this case, and because the client's not going to really know in a lot of cases how long that tattoo will actually take. So this will be, once I get the basic setup done, I'll come back, I'll make the tattoo service a service that cannot be booked by clients, and we'll continue to let clients book the small tattoo consultation, a large tattoo consultation, and the ear piercing services as well. We could add another service like flash art, like if you want to do like a 1 hour flash art session or 2 hour flash art session, we can add those in too. So maybe we'll just do that, like 1 hour flash art. Again, it's just like a nice way to just like fill some time, get somebody into the shop who just wants to, like a small piece done. I'll do a 2 hour flash art as well. I'll make that 2 hours. Okay, so I think we're pretty good here. What I'll do is I'll set up my providers now. We'll make our first provider Harley Flanagan, because I don't know, the logo I made for this tattoo shop was inspired by the Cro-Mags for some reason. It came to my head. We'll make our second tattoo artist Justine Frischman from Suede and Elastica. I do love the song Connected. I was listening to it earlier. It is one of my all-time favorite banger tunes. We'll make a guy named Siv, because he's actually a tattoo artist. And our last person, we'll make Raymond Jin, because his artwork is amazing, and it would be cool to get a custom piece of his artwork tattooed on my body. Okay, so let's we got our 4 providers. We'll have them offer all services right now. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make one of these the piercer. So how about I make Justine the piercer here? So all she's gonna offer is the ear piercing service, and I can change that later, but I'm pretty happy with that right now. Actually, you know what? Let's get let's get organized here. So we'll allow Harley to offer the large or small and large tattoo consultation, the tattoo service. He's not going to do any flash art because he's really booked up. Civ will again do the small and large consultations, tattoo service, 1 hour flash art and 2 hour flash art because he's still building his client base, even though in real life I'm sure he's booked out months in advance. And then last but not least, we'll make Raymond Jin because he's an old school dude. We'll let him do the consultations, and he'll only do tattoos as well. He's not interested in doing 1 or 2 hour flash art for clients. And then let's get our general hours. We'll just be we'll be a 5 day a week shop just to save some time. Or actually, you know what? Let's go 6 days because then I can show you how people could be on and off. So we'll make Harley work Tuesday through Saturday. Justine likes to work Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll make Civ the same as well, so he can be working those days. And we'll make Raymond again. He's a Tuesday guy, Tuesday through Saturday. If I want to have somebody work different hours, I can click on the pencil here, which allows me to customize the times that person works. They can either start a little earlier and end a little later, or they can have reduced hours for the day if they don't want to work a full day. So that's the basic setup right there. We've got a lot of what we need done to get this tattoo shop example set up. I'm just going to go online now. I'll add my address just because you should always do that. So again, we'll just put in Klondike 5 phone number so people can call Mr. Plow. The address will be 123 Tattoo Street. We're in Toronto, Ontario, and our postal code will be M5V4A3, which I think is the Much Music postal code, but don't quote me on that. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So I'll click on save here, and I got everything set up. So if I go to my schedule now here, I can see everyone's availability for I guess Tuesday, which is today, or sorry, Thursday, which is today. And if I just want to zoom in, I can zoom in here. There really will be, there's nothing in here right now. There'll be no clients. Your client list will be empty. But, what I could do is for Harley, I could put in his tattoo time, and I'm going to have him start off the day by doing a 4-hour tattoo for George Bell, because George Bell's come back to Toronto, and he wants to get tattoos of all his teammates from the 1980s Blue Jays on his back. So he's coming in to get that piece finished up. So I'm just going to request that booking. Hide, as you can see here. He's got a 4-hour tattoo service with George Bell. Maybe I could just put in like a large tattoo consultation here. And because George Bell's in town, Jesse Barfield is going to be hanging out at the shop as well. And he wants to get a snake tattoo on his face. So yeah, he's gonna look really awesome with that face tattoo. So Jesse Barfield's booked in there for his consultation. With Justine. somebody calls the shop, because she only offers the ear piercing service and we've set it to 1 hour, it's probably not a good example in terms of time. I could change it to half an hour, whatever it takes. Like, you could have multiple services for the ear piercing where you're doing like both ears, single ear, you're doing like sternum, whatever you're going to get done. You could break that down so that you can have different services within piercing, and I can get back to that in a little bit when we go back to the services. But I'll just get a person in here. So I don't know. We can just we can have Shock Lee coming in, and Shock Lee's phone number is 416-555-555. So he's gonna get just a piercing done here. So as you can see, these are appointments that could have occurred earlier today. I can go to tomorrow. I can do the same thing too for Harley. He could have a large tattoo that he's going to be doing for someone, and he could have a long session which he's doing for I don't know, somebody named Jason Jenkins. And basically I can just request the booking here, and yeah, so that 5-hour tattoo for Jason Jenkins is booked in there, which means there's only 3 hours left to book in with Harley for that day. But I can add the consultations or any other tattoos he may be doing that day. Likewise, if he wants to take an hour for lunch after that long tattoo, he can block that off so nobody can book in that consultation. And then again, you could get a phone call from someone who wants to do the small tattoo consultation, which this person could be Lloyd Mosby. I think I'm spelling that right. So you can see right here, he's got his 30-minute small tattoo. He just wants to get Tasmanian Devil on his right shoulder. So, we could put that in as well if we enable notes too, just to see what people are coming in for. So, one thing I'm going to do here, this is the basic day-to-day use case of Resurva. You can see here, the only person I've got in as a client right now is Shock Lee, because I entered his phone number. I didn't enter any phone numbers for anybody else, so they're just considered like bookings with a name. So as long as you enter a name and a phone number or an email, or a name and a phone number, or a name and email, you'll start to create a client list, and then you can track these people's bookings across Resurva as they come into the shop, and you can check their history to see how many times they've been in, what they've come in for, things like that. So I'm just going to jump here, and I'm going to just clean up my interface a little bit. I'm going to add in a header image. So I just created this generic tattoo shop logo inspired by Cro-Mags. Maybe we specialize in straight edge tattoos at this tattoo shop. I don't know. Yeah, so I put the X's in there because I just thought they look cool. Okay, so let's see here. So we got a lot set up already. If you want to see what a customer sees here, this is the basic setup. I'm actually going to go in and book as a client. So maybe to just clean these up here, I should probably reorganize these, the services, because what I could do is I could create categories called consultations. I'll hit save there, and what I'll do is I'll add the small tattoo and the large tattoo consultations to that category. I'm gonna add a piercing category here, or piercings, and what I can do is I can specialize one ear, and what I'll do is I'll add another service called ear piercing, and then both ears, and I'll make that 1 hour. And then what I'll do is I'll sort these just so they're a little easier to pick up, or just to pick up as you're scanning through your list. So I will save the order here. And what I'll do is I'll call this tattoo session. That makes more sense. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll add services to the piercings part here. So basically, I'll click on the ear piercing in both ears, and whoops, and what else we got here under services? We got so under add or remove services here under piercings. I've got sorry, I should be adding. Oh, I should add those back in. They're all good. Getting ahead of myself here. Getting a little too excited. Okay, so under piercings, I've got both ears. I should sort these again because I didn't click save on the order here, so I'll put this underneath here and I'll save that order. Consultations, piercings, and then I'll call this flash art for my last list, or my last category. So I'm going to add the 1 hour flash art session and then 2 hour flash art session. And what I can do here, I should also add some costs. So maybe we'll make the 1 hour like $125, and the 2 hour is $250. And you know, consultations you can charge if you're an established shop. You know, it really depends on how you do things at your end. A lot of people will build it into the cost of the tattoo. The tattoo session, we can set a default cost of $125 per hour. So then you can see what your costs are. You know, the tattoo piercing, I don't know, it might be like $40 for 1 year and $80 for both. So yeah, so basically we've got everything good to go here. I'm pretty happy with how I've got things. I'm just going to click on sort here, and what I'll do is I'll save the order. I'm going to just flash art tattoos, and what I should do too is call this tattoo consultations. So it's clear, really clear to the customer what they're looking at here. So if I just reorganize things here, I've got my categories now, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the tattoo session. I'll give it a color because you can color code everything, just so it's a little different. And I'm going to hide this from the clients too, so that way clients won't see it. Maybe what I'll do now is if I go back here, we can make the 1 hour flash art. Let's see, I'll add this color to it. The 2 hour can have its own, and then what I can do is for the ear piercing, that can also be its own color too. So we'll keep the consultations this light blue, and I'll make both ear piercings that now. So again, what's cool about this feature is, you know, it gives everything a bit of a well, it just makes it easier to digest visually. So you'll see that the tattoo session now has a different color from the consultation, as well as the piercing service. So just to jump back again, because we've set up all these new services here, I just want to make sure that everyone's offering the right services. So if I go to my providers here, I'm just going to make Justine because, I could call her piercist. We could, piercist. I'm not spelling that right, am I? Let's see. I should spell it right. Yeah, that's right. So we'll call her the piercist. Civ is tattoos. Raymond Jin is tattoos. And Harley Flanagan is tattoos as well. So this just again, so people know who does what, right? I could sort the providers here based on their seniority as well. So we could organize the tattooists first because they're probably going to be the most in demand. If you are more of a traditional tattoo shop, if you're offering the piercings as well, or you specialize in piercings, obviously you're gonna have way more people coming in for piercings, so you're gonna want to put them first over the tattooists. So I think I've got everything sorted here. So Harley's doing the small tattoo consultation, large tattoo session. Civ is doing everything, including the 1 and 2 hour flash art sessions. Raymond Jin is offering small tattoo session, large tattoo session, and the tattoo session. And Justine is offering the 2 piercing services because she is a specialized piercist. So if I go back here as a customer, I'm going to see now that there's categories. So I may want to come in for a piercing. I'm super stoked to get my ears pierced. So I'm going to go 8 gauge, get those bad boys punched out. I'm going to look on the 28th here. Basically, I'm going to click in on Justine here, and I will choose my time. So on the 29th, Wednesday the 29th of November, I'm going to get a piercing done, both ears stamped out with Justine, or punched out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign in with my Google account here. I'm Mr. Appointment Maker. I book a lot. So I'm going to sign in and connect that to my Resurva account. Everything looks good. So the 29th, I'm going to click on continue. I'm going to add in my phone number because I want to get a text reminder on the 28th of my appointment, as well as an email reminder. I'm just going to make and request the booking. So I'm all good. I got my appointment set up for the 29th of November as a customer, and I'm stoked. I can't wait to get my ears pierced. So in the inbox here, I will have an email confirmation from the tattoo shop. So again, it's got my details in there, and I can add this to my Google Calendar if that's something I want to do. So basically, I'm good. I've got that all important piercing appointment that I've been putting off for months on end. So as a customer, I'm super stoked that I get to go to this tattoo shop and have an amazing piercing experience. Jumping back to the view as the owner, I will see that right here that there has a booking there is a booking that has been made for next Wednesday. So I go in and I can see that there is a booking with Justine made, and look who it is. It's Books a Lot. Books a Lot's got that appointment. So Justine is stoked because maybe that's her first client. But yeah, so that really just shows sort of the flow between what you see as the shop and what your customers can see on their end. So in this scenario here, we're not letting clients book out uh, longer uh, longer tattoo sessions. Those are all going to be controlled by the shop based on your consultation. So if you do have someone come in for a smaller tattoo consultation or a larger tattoo consultation, basically you can set up the sessions that are required on the spot, get that confirmation email sent to the person, and then they will also get the reminder when it's time for them to come in, or the day before their appointment is all set. So just jumping back to the services here, just to, again, clarity is really the most important thing when you're setting this up, and you are able to add a description. You could limit your small tattoo consultation, for tattoos that are smaller than, I don't know, 6 inches by 6 inches. So that's what the small tattoo consultation would be reserved for. I'll click save here, and then I can make the large tattoo consultation for tattoos that are larger than 6 inches by 6 inches. So in the description there, once those are updated, once I reload the Resurva account as a customer, I can book my consultation. So I do want a large consultation. I can go in and choose. I really have heard a lot of good things about Harley, so I'm going to book in my large consultation with him in 5 days, and I will request that booking, and I will make sure I ask for a reminder as a customer, and I will book it in. This is just a handy little feature here in Resurva. So if somebody has a lot of bookings coming up, maybe they've accidentally booked something with you. This is more of a use case for barbershops where people are, say, booking multiple haircuts just because their barber's fairly busy. And sorry for doing this circle thing. It might have been a little hypnotic for you, but this gives the person the ability to cancel an appointment that they might have already booked and then book in a new appointment. So if I jump back here to the schedule, I will see again on Tuesday there is that new consultation that's being booked by Books-A-Lot with Harley Flanagan. So other things that are important to look at within the experience, I would recommend turning on a last booking date. This way you can manage schedules with your staff a little easier. You could maybe set 4 weeks as your last booking date. So again, if you've got people coming in to do a guest spot, this is a really great way to manage that as well. I guess I can get to that in 1 second, but with the 4-week booking window, this would be a great way to just limit people from booking out too far in advance, and it gives all your staff the ability to talk to one another and manage their schedule. So if somebody is leaving for a couple weeks for vacation or to do a guest spot somewhere else, you can mark them off, and there will be minimal affected customers, or the minimal amount of customers will be affected if they've been booked out by yourselves for future appointments. And if they were trying to book on their end, they wouldn't be able to book out more than 4 weeks in advance, because every night at 12 a.m. A new time or a new day opens. So the last booking date, set it to variable date and set it to 4 weeks. If you want to make it a fixed date, you could be a little more manual, where you just let a month end creep up, and then you open up more time. Again, it's just an effective way to manage the schedule flow and not let too many people book in when they shouldn't be booking in. Other things that are worth adding in here on the services end of things. I'm going to keep multi-service selection turned off because the probability of that happening in a tattoo shop setting is pretty low. So that if that stays off, that means that people can only book one appointment at a time. I'm going to show this some of the service costs in the booking form so people can know what the cost of things are. We have group service management. It's really not applicable for a tattoo shop, but this would allow you to do, maybe if you're interested in classes at the shop, either for tattooists or piercists. You can set this up so you could have 10 people come in and they could learn some new techniques. You could have a night that you could organize. So that's something that group services allows you to do. On the provider end of things, you can track splits, which is again, if there's like the shop and the tattooists have a split agreement or a commission agreement, you can set the percentage split of the hourly rate. So if it's like a 60-40 split or 50-50 split, you can do that under manage services and then click on the three dots next to the service provider's name and click on service options. So that's a really great feature to have that we have in Resurva. For no preference bookings, I mean, everyone's going to be pretty choosy. They'll go to your website, they'll check out, they'll already have their people, they'll check out who works at your shop, or they'll already have someone in mind that they've peeped out on Instagram, or they've got previous work done from, or friends got work done by them. So people are going to be pretty choosy on who's going to be adding something to their screen or their skin, or adding another piercing to whatever part of your body is getting pierced, or their body. On the bookings end of things, I would always recommend forcing clients to log in. You don't want people showing up, just random people like entering stuff in, especially for higher value service offerings. The more information you can get, the safer you'll be. That said, you can be 100% safe if you enable payments in Resurva, and you can either take a deposit, charge full price, or use our card hold feature with our cancellation protection, which enables you to set a cancellation policy of, say, like 24 hours. And if they try to cancel within that time period, they will be charged the full amount of their service or whatever percentage of the service you want to bill them for. So this would be a really good way to, if somebody were to book like that 1 hour flash service or 2 hour flash service, you can either charge for it ahead of time through Stripe, or you can just do the card hold so that when they show up, they can pay in cash, or they can pay with their credit card in the shop, or they can use a debit card, so they can add a tip or whatever they want to add. But yeah, basically, keeping logins forced is an awesome thing to have. It just really helps protect you and the business and the people that work for you. You can, if you're really choosy, again, bookings require admin approval. If you check this off, this will put all appointments into pending status until you approve them. So this is something that you can use for if you're a very established shop and you don't want to be doing consultations. I mean, you could even set it up so that consultations are done, there's a pre-consultation done. You can manage things the way that you want. But I would recommend keeping things obviously as modular and consistent and as frictionless as possible. So you do want people booking in these consultations with your staff or the tattooists whenever they do have that availability. Just helps keep the business going. But yeah, with the bookings requirement approval feature turned on, that means every booking now would require approval by one of the admins. So I'm just going to keep that checked off here. I'll set the number of maximum bookings to 2 for a client. I'll keep the next openings disabled. I will keep the no preference bookings disabled. Waiver agreement, if you turn on card hold, you don't really need that. Booking address, include address in booking notifications. That'll just like add your address there in case people are new and they need to know where they need to know your address so they can click on the link and it'll open up in Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever map service that the person use. Show indicators for notes, new clients, and client group in the schedule. I'm going to enable that because that's a really great little feature that if I go to the schedule here, anybody who has an account with a star next to them, that means they're a new customer. So when you're starting out in Resurva, a lot of people will become new customers. George and Jesse don't have that icon next to them because they didn't get accounts created for them. Shockley does because I added a phone number for this user. Just going back to the app settings here. Conversion tracking, you can add that in if you want to track where people are coming from. If you're doing like an ad campaign through Google or Facebook, this is if you tie in a Google Analytics account, you can see what your conversion rate is on successful bookings. Payments, this one's amazing little feature. So if I click on enabled here, I can connect my Resurva account with Stripe, and that would enable me to charge for certain services. So if you want to keep the consultations free, you'll just check off all the other services that you want to charge for. So, or you want to have card hold applied to. So again, just covering charging options, you can charge full price. You can charge a deposit. You can force some people to pay. You can force everyone to pay. So if you do block someone for no showing you, they will have to pay for the service. But because this is a higher margin service, I think a lot of people will want to take money or have a card on file just so that they feel safer or more secure with that relationship with the client in terms of them having that obligation to show up and honoring the social contract. And then the card hold, that enables you to set your cancellation policy, which can be 24 hours notice, 48 hours notice. Someone tries to cancel within that window, they will be advised that they're going to be charged because their card has been added onto file, and that card on file will be automatically billed. And if somebody does no call, no show you, you can charge them for the missed appointment as well when you mark them as a no call, no show within Resurva. So just covering that really quick here. I can go back to the schedule here, and if I click on this appointment, I could check in Jesse from his appointment from earlier today. So I'll get a nice little checkbox there. I can do a bunch of actions here, so I can edit the booking if I want to change it. If I want to mark that he's got a discount because he's part of a vintage Blue Jays. So all old school Blue Jays get 50% off their services. So I gotta honor that discount to my man Georgie Bell as well. So I'm gonna set him as a discount, 50% off, and even if I can mark Jesse as a no-show if I want, and if I do, he becomes red. So I can also undo that no-show too, which is pretty awesome. And then jumping back just to the general app settings here, private booking, you don't need to worry about that unless you want to get really selective with who you allow to book. On the client end of things, you can enable detailed client info, but that just forces them to add their address. I will enable client notes just so that you can write notes on the client. Time settings, again, if you want to operate in 30-minute intervals, you can change the time slot to 30 minutes. Granular time selection would allow you to create like weird length services of 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever you want. You can fall on and off the grid as the day progresses. which is a really great feature about Resurva. So it helps you maximize your day, even if you're offering services that are not divisions or multiples of your prime time slot. I picked an hour here because generally, like, that's what I see a lot of tattoo shops working at, is either, it's usually 1 hour increments for services. Jumping back here in the analytics, I can do reporting on just what my number of bookings that were created, completed bookings, things like that. On the booking search, that allows me to do, I can search for all of the services that have been booked between a set period of time. So here I can see all the upcoming appointments here. For client list, I can create, or I can just check in and see who our most popular clients are. You can check people alphabetically, based on chronological or reverse order. People with most or least bookings. You can filter people by no-shows. You can also connect your Reserve account to MailChimp, which allows you to send mail blast to people on your list who've authorized themselves on there. So you can, there's two options to build your list. One is to do like an export from Resurva, like once a month, and it'll export any new active clients. And number two is to allow people to add themselves when they're making the booking on their end. Under manage, just getting back here, this is another great feature here, is the calendar sync. I know in the tattoo industry, Google Calendar is very popular, so we do have the ability to let you sync with your Google Calendar, or iCloud, or whatever calendaring service you're using. It's both one and two-way sync. So if you want to do two-way sync, it'll take your existing events and create calendar events in Resurva, so those times will be blocked off. And then if you want to do one-way sync, it'll just you'll authorize a calendar from your calendaring system and allow Resurva to write to that calendar, and it'll show you what your schedule is for the day. What else do we got here? We got a POS integration with Vend Point of Sale. That's a whole other beast, but if you connect Resurva to Vend, your appointments in Resurva become parked orders in Vend, which you can then check out. And if people purchase like earrings or anything, say for a piercing service, you could add that to the order, and then they can pay for everything at once. And then you can also use Vend to track your inventory, so whatever you stock at the shop, and you sell to people. So if you sell like shirts, other merch, if you have like a coffee shop or you sell drinks or something like that as well at the shop, you can track all that stuff too. Or maybe you've got a larger retail presence, so you've got the tattoo shop, and then you've got clothing lines that you carry as well, or knickknacks or whatever. You can track your inventory through Vend, and basically our integration points are: we sync over clients from Resurva, we send over appointments as parked orders to Vend, and those appointments create products in Vend, which you can then attribute to a supplier, and you can actually track your service products as well as your physical products separately. So you can pull reports on sales that your staff are doing versus product sales, and then also do commission as well for the staff. Other than that, other things that are sort of vital, I would say, like setting up admin accounts. I got my man Ryan Smolenix as a shop owner. I would recommend creating a front, a front desk login. So we could have like tattoo shop front desk at resurva.com, and we'll call it front desk. We can create this account here, give this person full admin access so they can see everything. If you do want to get emails for the connected providers, you can check that off and check off everyone. So the front desk email account can always be notified of new appointments if that's how you like to track things. I could create an admin account for each tattooist or piercist as well. So we could have Harley, the tattooer at Resurva.com, and we'll make Harley Flanagan his name. I will create on click account, create account. I'm going to give this person limited access, and what this will do is it will limit the access of that provider to just seeing their own schedule. So when I click save there and then I click on connected providers, I can limit the schedule to just Harley seeing his own schedule when he logs in. And I can also set it too so that he gets email notifications for connected providers, or if he decides to sync his calendar or just put his faith in Resurva and just let his day go on. When he checks it at night, he can see what's going on the next day, and if he checks in the morning, he can see if there's any changes to his day. I think just going through my mind right now, the booking widget. More advanced stuff is you can embed the Resurva widget in your website. You can just link out to it directly. We're happy to help with that too. We also have our website service, which is sick. We can do a landing page for you within your existing domain that allows people to book in directly through clicking on an image of the tattooist or piercist. Get in touch with us, support at resurva.com if that's something you're interested in. For notifications, you can customize like your confirmed booking email, your canceled booking email, move booking email, as well as add some custom fields. If you're ever to do a promotion, you could devote one of the fields to people entering in a code or something like that, so when the person makes the booking, you'll see that. Client list, I think we're good. Client groups, something that you can create that allows you to really start to segment clients, so that by either making someone a private provider or so that only people on that private or only people on the private list can book with that tattooist. If they don't want to take on any new clients, you're able to manage who gets access to that list. Also too, on client groups, when you create a group, there's certain people that can get discounts as well. So maybe it's like longtime friends of the shop, or really good friends of the tattooist or piercist. They can be added to a group so that they always get a discount when they come in. But of course you don't want to do that because you want to charge everyone full rate. And then that's pretty much it. Logo and branding, I added the tattoo shop logo here. We're always happy to help with this stuff too. Like if you do find you come to a point where you need advice on what's the best way to manage things, or if you want us to do an audit so we can see if you've made things too complicated or you haven't accounted for your booking scenarios, we're always happy to help with that. So you can call us or email us, or hit us up on chat. It's probably a lot easier to do it over email or calling, but yeah, we're always available for that stuff, and we really encourage new clients to reach out to us, just because it can be a lot to take in, and there can be things you miss, and especially in an industry like tattooing where everyone kind of has their own approach. It's always good to get an outsider's view of what you're doing. Our job is to always make you more modular, but I know that everyone kind of has their own way of doing things. So I'm happy to take your side. I'll give you my opinion, and if you want to modify things, you can. But if you've got a set way of doing things, like some people might do 3-hour chunks of time where they're just booking out. They work 9 hours and they do a 3-hour session in the morning, a 3-hour session over lunch, and then a 3-hour session in the afternoon. you can run Resurva like that. You could have a 3-hour tattoo service, right? So it's your call, but we're happy to listen to how you do things and give you suggestions on how to best set up Resurva. So, that's it for now. Thanks for watching and listening. If there is anything else, please do give us a phone call. That's 1-866-656-3362 if you're in North America. We've got a UK line. I'm blanking on the number. Just go to resurva.com and check it out. You can hit us up, support@resurva.com on email. And always hit us up on chat too during our office hours. And yeah, I mean, that's it for now. So thank you for watching the ultimate tattoo shop setup. I had fun doing this. I'm having more fun doing these videos. And yeah, until the next video, have a great morning, evening, or afternoon. Take care.